What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over talking about, is 2K25 MyTEAM the worst 2K of all time as far as a consumer standpoint? Now, this is an opinionated question, okay? It's a loaded question, and I have seen a lot of people on X Twitter talking about it because it is a big time question. Now, I will say this. Over the course of the last, I'm going to say 6 years, so 2K19 was the first 2K I took serious to now, we've seen some really good 2Ks, my team specific, and we've seen some really bad 2Ks. And in this video, I'm not going to talk about gameplay, okay? Gameplay goes up, gameplay goes down. I'll always say this about gameplay. People are always going to find something to like. People are always going to complain about something. There has never been a 2K that has been perfect for everyone. And the more, I'll also say this, the more unrealistic, the more glitchy that 2K is, the more people like it. Think about 2K22 current gen, the speed glitch was in the game. Think about 2K21 where the dribble glitch was in the game. You could dribble your way up the court. There's always going to be something in this game that is super glitchy. So gameplay wise, it goes up, it goes down. I hate the RNG of it, but that's not what we're going to be talking about. Content specifically. Now I want to start by comparing it to last year, okay? So let's start with comparing this game to last year. If you go back to last year, how did it work? What did it look like? Honestly, 2K24 pre-All-Star break I really liked. I know there wasn't an auction house. I know the player market went up and down, but at the end of the day, it was easy to be no money spent last year. It was easy to get the best team in the game if you spent a certain amount, and it wasn't ridiculously priced. Like it wasn't. You could spend $150 a month and have basically the best team in the game, you know? And I spent a lot more in the game pre-All-Star break. I think pre-All-Star break on like packs or to get a good team, I spent probably $700, a decent amount on the game. But I always had the best squad or one of the best squads in the game. And so that's kind of what I liked. Pre-All-Star break last year, there was a lot to like about the game. But then the All-Star break happened and it basically became all gambling, right? Like it became gambling only, and that's where things really got bad, right? No auction house last year. It just, to me, it was a fine game. It wasn't anything crazy. Let's go back to 2K23. Now, if you remember 2K23, they implemented the trophy case. Now, the trophy case, it was what you made of it. I actually like the idea of a trophy case. It wasn't as rewarding as it should have been probably, and it wasn't as explained as it should have been, but it was intuitive. It was new. I liked the idea of it. And honestly, heading into next year, I hope they do something similar to what the trophy case was, because if you look at the rewards and how they do things this year, the rewards are just unsellable past cards. They're just not necessarily as exciting. Whereas if you go 2 years ago and you could have gotten a Galaxy Opal AD right away, right? Pink Diamond, you know, James Worthy was really good. Pink Diamond Russell Westbrook early on ran the game in 2K23. It was somewhat exciting. Now again, 2K23, it was fine. I like the fact that we saw some new rewards. To me, it was a fine game. Like I think it was better than 2K24 for sure. I would put 2K23 ahead of this game 100%. Now again, 2K23, we saw, you know, some crazy things, but I actually didn't hate 2K23. I don't think it was that great, but hey, I'm not going to complain a whole ton. Then we go back to 2K22. And again, 2K22, in my personal opinion, was our last 2K that I loved. 2K22, we had the draft mode. Not saying it was perfect, but it was something, right? We saw token rewards back in 2K22. We saw level 40 every season, and they at least tried to make us feel rewarded, right? We saw unlimited, you know, rewards that were worth it. You go back to season 1 of 2K22. The unlimited reward Wilt Chamberlain was the best player that we saw compared to anybody in packs. Compare that to what we saw this year, whereas day 1 in packs, you got LeBron James, right? So day 1 in packs, you saw Pink Diamond LeBron, who walked circles around T-Mac, who was way better than any reward you could grind for. Way different from what we saw in 22. And that's the big thing for me is, if you look at past games, you got rewarded for grinding the game. And yes, week 1 in 22, I get it. We saw a glitch Dikembe Mutombo that could shoot, right? And the game was crazy from there moving forward. But I like 22, 2K22, and I'd go as far as saying that was the last good 2K we saw. And 21 was fine in its own right. 20 was fine in its own right. But I would say this. The last 3 years on this game, between 23, 24, and 25, it's not been good. Right? And I'd honestly go as far as saying you could debate those in any order. You could have, some higher, others higher. I mean, you could debate them in any order. But I think we can all say 19 through 22 were the best years to play this MyTEAM mode. They were the best. They were the most fun, at least from 19 on. 19 through 22 was fun, right? There was a reason to play the game. In 19, you saw token rewards like, what was it? James Worthy, Wilt Chamberlain, Galaxy Opals that literally ran the game, and there was a reason to play the game. Compared to where we're at now, there's no reason to play the game. And I saw a tweet. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna find the tweet, and I'll give credit to him if I can find who said it. And because it was such a valid tweet that I want people to I can't even find it. But basically the tweet said, yeah, it makes sense getting a really good team to play a game mode to not get rewarded, right? You get a really good team to play game modes and you don't get rewarded for it. I've never seen a tweet so true in my life. In all the other Ultimate Team modes that I've played, MLB The Show, College Football Ultimate Team, you build a good team and you get rewarded in the game modes for having that good team. And next year, I mean, obviously there's money on the line, but I'm just saying game mode rewards, you normally get good players for doing good in a game mode. That's not the way 2K has done things, 2K23 onward. What I would say is this. The auction house was back this year. That's nice. The events brought a different twist to the game. I just wish, again, that these were somewhat more attainable, but I actually don't hate the events entirely. I think if they have the events moving forward next year and maybe twist it up and change it up a little bit, I think there is a lot of potential here. So I actually can't hate what 2K has done with the game overall. What I would say is this. I think the biggest thing from making, 2K25 good is they have emphasized unsellables more than ever before, right? With the Hall of Fame boxes being unsellable, with the toppers being unsellable, with every reward you get being unsellable. That is the biggest downfall to 2K25. I would say this. With last year being a complete disaster, in my opinion, and basically all gambling or you have nothing to show for it, I would put this year's 2K above last year. But it's not by much. I would say it's actually by a decent amount, but it's still, this 2K is not comparable to, 21, 22. It's not. It's closer to 24 than it is to 22, 21, 20, in my opinion. And so I think heading into 26, 2K can use some things that they did in 25 as far as for them making money, like with the events, they're still going to make a ton of money. But we've got to move forward, right? We've got to make a game that is good for, 2K can have it be good for the, money side of things, but also make it good for the consumer. Make game modes rewarding to play, right? Not give just unsellable rewards out like they're candy. They can bring back, the festivals. I actually like the festivals. But imagine this, right? If you're going to give us the festivals in which each and every week we're getting new cards, imagine if these cards were game mode rewards, or we had game mode rewards like these cards added into the game modes. So let's say this season, right, at the start of the season, 2K said, if you get 120 showdown wins or whatever it is, you get Ben Simmons. GOAT card. If you, get 250 wins in Triple Threat Park, you get Danny Ferry. I think the game would be so much more fun if you could grind for those cards over the season in a specific game mode compared to just being the festival cards. And I'm fine if you give us festival cards too, but I'm just saying that was a fun part of the game. If you think of 22, 21, grinding for things, right? Like that has completely gone away this year, and you no longer get rewarded for grinding the game. That needs to be back in a big time way, in my opinion. And that's something that I think could move 2K forward. I don't think this is the worst 2K of all time, although I do think it's bottom 3. Between this year, 2K24 being the worst, and 2K23, I'd say it's pretty close to where I had 23 at. that is going to wrap it up for our video today. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.